Hello, my name is Alexander Armenkov. Today is 28th of November, 2022, and I'm continuing my series, Daily Reality with Alex. Today, I would like to speak more about the doingness. As you know, the stages of our existence are actually three: our beingness, our doingness, and our havingness. It is very easy to understand our havingness because we are daily surrounded with objects that are coming into our daily reality, and we know our house, then we know the people around us. This is part of our havingness, of our environment, of the people that we are surrounded with, our families, our co-workers, our work. All of these scenes that are happening daily in our reality are part of our havingness. Our scenes that are happening daily and we are experiencing them in our reality. For example, now I'm in my working environment where daily I'm experiencing approximately the same things, and this is part of my havingness. This is part of the scenes that I have chosen to experience daily in my reality. And then the second thing is the beingness. This is the most hard part of us that is very difficult to discover and to understand, and that's why we need, first of all, to understand the doingness and the havingness, and the beingness is the most hidden part of us that we are constantly trying to express and to understand through the expressions of havingness and the doingness. So basically, we need to understand the outward expressions of ourselves in order later on to know more about ourselves. But of course, here comes the honesty, because the doingness is a very important part that we need to constantly monitor. And there comes all the complaints and everything that we are creating in our mind, and we're saying, well, I'm not happy with myself, I'm not happy with my environment, because actually my limitless being, my beingness inside of me wants something more, wants something different, is actually willing to experience a little bit more different reality than what I'm experiencing daily. And what is happening actually with our doingness? Once we are motivated, once we are very inspired, we can go for, let's say, 5, 6, 10 days, 1 month into a very strong motivational doingness, and we are just doing things, and we think that long term it is going to continue forever, but the reality is that it never continues forever. The good thing about doingness is that it is happening by the automation modes of our being. That's why long-term the doingness is not able to be faked. It can be faked. Before some people, I can expose and look like I'm something different. Then for my family, I can even look like a little bit different than what I am. But actually, long-term, we cannot fake our doingness, because anyhow, there will be moments and there will be glitches where the true us is going to be exposed. So if we go into this disillusion where we are constantly creating doingness that is different than who we are, then long-term, we are going to suffer. Long-term, we are not going to experience happiness, because happiness and joy is by definition to express ourselves freely. Only then this happiness and joy is possible to be actually experienced. But since we are so much convinced that we should have a specific type of doingness because of the environment, or because of the society, because of the morals, so we actually never are willing to tap inside of us and to actually start expressing our core essence in the outside reality. So basically, when you are monitoring your doingness, it's not important to say, oh, Alex, today I made 5 good things. So maybe the gods and maybe the creator is going to be beneficial for me because of my doingness. Actually, our doingness is constantly monitored because this is what is actually creating the difference in the reality, not only for myself but for all the others, because then based on my doingness, my future is determined or determined, as we can say. But the important thing is that when we monitor our doingness, we need to know that it is secondary. It is not the first thing that is happening to us. We cannot change our doingness just because we have monitored in our mind and we have made our awareness that our doingness is something that we don't like. And if we force and put all our energy to the changing of our doingness, it is not going to happen long term. We will go into so much disillusion that we are something else than what we actually are. That's why, since we cannot force our doingness, we can only monitor it and be sincere with ourselves and can say, well, why I'm actually expressing this? What inside of me is so eagerly expressing this different doingness that I, as the I amness and the beingness, actually long-term don't like, and I would like actually to present something different that is much more coherent with who I am. So actually long-term in our experience, we are daily to divide our doingness into doingness that are aligned with who we are and doingnesses that are not aligned with who we are. And I can give you my personal experience that maybe 70 to 80% of my doingness are not aligned with who am I. So long term, we need to go into this mental, spiritual, consciousness, fitness, and to realize and understand that all these 80% of doingness that are not aligned with who we are actually are creating all our experiences that long-term we are labeling as bad because they are not aligned with who we are. So when we see this type of experiences and this type of doingness that are coming from ourselves, I cannot say that it is somebody else that is doing all these 80% of the things that are not aligned with my identity and who am I. I need to go deep into my shadows, to go deep into my being, to go deep into my relationship with the Creator, and to long-term understand why exactly I'm expressing these different things than what I actually would like long-term to express. The big problem, of course, about a human being is that we think that we are separated from the reality, and it is only us long-term that need to create and to do something. Once we realize that actually we are, in a sense, constantly in cooperation and in interaction with reality, then we are going to understand that long-term, all this 80% of non-coherent doingness is actually done because we have not been in alignment with the Creator and was not into 100% interaction with the reality. And this is why we have not been into a flow through which we are actually able to go into this 20% of coherent doingness. And of course, we also need to understand the 4 parts that are creating coherent doingness. And this is the alignment of the mind with the heart, with the gut, and with the care. The care principle is very important because first we need to spot that in reality, the creation and the construct is caring for us, and we need to accept it, that everything that is happening in our outside reality is long-term beneficial for us. And then once we want to interact with reality and to actually express something from ourselves, we need to show that we care long-term about some specific manifestation in the outside reality that is coming from our doingness, that is actually able to be revealed because it is beneficial for all the objective reality and not specifically for me. For me, personally, I need to accept the care that the construct and the reality is already provided for myself, and long-term my care needs to be expressed when I'm aligned with reality, when I'm aligned with the creator, and when I'm expressing my flow of care under the care of the construct. So it is very deep knowledge about the doingness as how long-term our doingness to be 100% coherent with who we are. But this is just a fundamental where I'm explaining you why the doingness a lot of the time is not 100% something that we like, we are happy with, we are content, and so on and so on. Of course, long-term, we know the simple fact that if our doingnesses today are aligned, then our future is going to be more aligned, and so on and so on. And this is why I'm just expressing very small research and facts about the doingness, and long-term, all of us, all the human beings need to explore this subject, because anyhow, the doingness is the imprint that we are living into reality, and it is very important to live more and more of our authenticity as an imprint upon the reality and not anything else. So thank you for watching today. Enjoy your reality, monitor daily your doingness, and don't worry, there are always available possibility for all of us to be coherent and to be aligned. Bye-bye.